Republic Act number 11697, also known as the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act or the EVIDA, was enacted on April 15, 2022 to accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles in the Philippines. This legislation aims to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and pave the way for a more sustainable future. It establishes a national roadmap with clear standards for electric vehicle production, usage, and maintenance, setting the groundwork for a greener economy. To ensure accessibility, the Act introduces key incentives such as a tax break, priority vehicle registration, and requirements to establish public charging stations nationwide. Furthermore, it mandates that both government agencies and private enterprises convert a portion of their fleets to EVs, setting a strong example for all motorists. In addition, the Act invests in skills training for EV manufacturing and maintenance, creating new employment opportunities for our growing labor force. As of 2024, the Land Transportation Office reports 17,519 registered EVs, including buses and motorcycles. The Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines estimates this number could rise dramatically to 6.6 million by 2030. House Bill number 10960 builds upon this progress. It defines an electric vehicle as a 2, 3, or 4-wheeled vehicle or similar, equipped with at least one electric drive. More significantly, it proposes a 5-year 0% import tariff on fully built EVs, making them more affordable and accessible to Filipino consumers. This proposed legislation represents a critical step towards a sustainable future. It will boost the EV market, generate much-needed jobs, and help the Philippines transition to a greener economy, aligning us with global climate goals. Madam Speaker, we are all witnesses of how climate change devastated our country during the past few months. 6 typhoons have made landfall in our country in just a span of 4 weeks, and as we speak, our kababayans, especially in the Bicol region and the Visayas, are being battered by heavy rains. By reducing our carbon emissions, we hope to slow down climate change. With these compelling benefits in mind, I humbly urge this august body to extend its full support to House Bill number 10960. Together, let us embrace this opportunity to lead the Philippines towards a cleaner, greener, and more prosperous future. Daghang salamat.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of interpellation.
There's a motion to open the period of interpellation. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Raul Daniel Manuel of Kabataan Party List for his interpellation.
The Honorable Raul Manuel is recognized for his interpellation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Mayong hapon to our colleague. Before I proceed with my questions, Madam Speaker, we first would like to emphasize na pagdating sa usapin ng mga alternatives na makakalesen ng ating dependence sa fossil fuels, magkakaroon natin ng mga mabubuting alternative sources for energy and for us to continue operating our economy and our society. Okay naman tayo dyan, Madam Speaker. Ang ating concern lamang always ay paano natin gagawin yung mga na-envision natin. In line with that, Madam Speaker, would our sponsor yield to some questions?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Una, Madam Speaker, would like to confirm na yung EVIDA or ang Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act, ito ay pinasa noong April 2022. Tama po ba?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
With that, Madam Speaker, nasa more than 2.5 years na meron tayong ganong batas. Bago natin isa lang itong proposed amendments to the EVIDA. Madam Speaker, ang unang tanong ko po, ano ang mga developments or progress so far na naabot na ating bansa, kung meron man, in terms of yung pag-promote ng electric vehicles 2.5 years after we have enacted
According to Electric Vehicles Association of the Philippines, I will enumerate some of the data that they have given. So electric motorcycle models, excluding the mopeds and small ones, supplied in the market grew from 5% to 70, from less than 5 to 70. Electric tricycle models supplied in the market grew from less than 5 to 18, around 12 of which are either locally produced or assembled. Electric bus models supplied in the market grew from less than 0 to 10 currently. Electric bus models supplied in the market grew from less than 1 to 8, with 3 out of 8 either locally produced or assembled. In addition, 2 of the 8 plans to localize production, eventually depending on the incentives to be provided under the EVIS. The number of electric car models and brands in the country has significantly grown from less than 5 prior to the EVIDA to about 80 currently. EV sales in 2023 alone was recorded at around 500 units, surpassing the accumulated 253 units in the prior years. And public charging stations also grew from less than 10 to more than 160 charge points, as reported by Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Based dun sa mga nabanggit ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor, mostly ito ay patungkol sa supply in the market. Kasama din, Madam Speaker, yung sales ng mga electric vehicles and yung mga public charging stations, among others. As to supply, Madam Speaker, kasi isang bagay yung mas maraming supply, ibig sabihin yung available na pwedeng bilhin ng kung sino mang kababayan natin na gustong gumamit ng electric vehicles, whatever the type. Pero isang bagay din, Madam Speaker, ay paano ba talaga napoproduce yung ganong mga electric vehicles. Naging usapin kasi ito, Madam Speaker, lalo na with the PUV Modernization Program, na habang gusto din naman natin ng mga alternatives, then again, ang nangyari, Madam Speaker, ay mas napaboran talaga yung mga foreign na manufacturers. At kung meron man tayong matatawag na mga locally assembled, Madam Speaker, ito ay hindi pa rin naman talaga reliant sa isang tunay na industriya ng electric vehicles na nakabatay dun sa ano yung mga meron sa ating bansa. So, with that, Madam Speaker, we would like to ask, ano na ba yung current na share ng mga electric vehicles na purely foreign, tapos kung meron dyan na partly ay dito ina-assemble, ganyan, ano po ba ang proportion niyan sa ngayon, Madam Speaker?
So, Madam Speaker, according to EVAP, our electric tricycles and electric jeepneys, 80% locally manufactured. However, our electric cars are 100% imported.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That's noted. Madam Speaker, yung e-trikes, 80% would be
Magkasama po yung binigyan na data, the e-tricycles and e-jeepneys, 80% of that is locally manufactured.
Okay, Madam Speaker, may available po ba na breakdown nun, yung e-trike tsaka yung e-jeep?
We don't really have the breakdown of it, but around 500 electric jeepneys na ang nag-ooperate ngayon. About 400 out of 500 is locally made sa mga kung e-jeepneys.
Madam Speaker, kaya gusto ko ring mas magkaroon tayo ng breakdown dyan dahil pag sinabi po nating 80% ay locally manufactured, sa ngayon kasi, Madam Speaker, pag sinabi nating locally manufactured, kailangan din natin siya i-qualify dahil pwedeng on the outside ay mukha siyang locally manufactured, pero sa katotohanan, Madam Speaker, yung mga parts niyan pwedeng galing pala talaga sa ibang mga bansa, tapos pagdating dito sa atin, parang taga-assemble na lang tayo, Madam Speaker. So, sabihin sa esensya, hindi talaga siya tayo yung nag-manufacture. Kaya lalo na Madam Speaker when we talk about yung mga electronic jeep natin. Kasi sa totoo lang, kung titingnan natin yung mga pumapasada na mga electronic jeepneys, marami talaga dyan ay kahit na subsidiary sila ng mga foreign companies, tapos ang label din sa kanila ng Department of Transportation ay locally manufactured daw, pero sa mga past committee hearings din natin, lilitaw, di naman pala talaga sila gawang Pinoy. Unlike yung mga gusto talaga natin sanang suportahan, gaya ng Sarao, Francisco Motors, ganyan. So, with that, Madam Speaker, pwede po bang makapag-supply ng ganong breakdown kahit to follow? Makakapag-commit po ba, Madam Speaker, ang ating sponsor to supply those information?
Yes, Madam Speaker, EVAP will submit to our distinguished colleague the breakdown. However, I just want to also share, according to EVAP, yung 400 out of 500 jeepneys that is under our records, under the records na locally manufactured, talagang from the ground up din. So nakikita natin at least kaya ng local natin to start building from the ground up ang e-jeepneys po at this point.
With that, Madam Speaker, yan yung gusto natin pag sinabi nating meron talagang development ng industry ng electric vehicle. Kaya gusto kong tumungo sa ganung usapin, Madam Speaker. Sa bansa natin, saan-saan po ba yung mga masasabi nating meron talagang pagawaan or saan yung mga lugar kung saan ang focus nila ay pag-produce ng mga jeep, whether yung mga parts yan or components hanggang sa mabuo talaga yung mga electric vehicles. Kasi kung mag-rely tayo, Madam Speaker, heavily dun sa imported na mga electric vehicles, tingin natin, hindi yun yung pag-develop ng sarili nating industriya. So, yun, Madam Speaker, saan-saan po yun dito sa Pilipinas?
Madam Speaker, we have the list of companies that are Filipino-owned and locally manufacturers. Like e-jeeps are Tojo Motors Corporation. There's Philippine Utility Vehicle Incorporated. There's Eco Builder Development Corporation. Meron din pong Assembly Point Incorporated and LCS Group of Companies. Sa mga e-trikes, may PEMAC, Electric Transportation Philippines, Tojo Motors also, Proja Hyros Manufacturing, Philippine Utility Vehicle, and Irvice Motors Corporation. Ay, meron din palang Pinoy Ako, Alaya Green Vehicles, and NWOW Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if that's the case na assuming may ganun tayong mga locally based na mga kayang mag-produce ng electric vehicles, Madam Speaker, then why is there a need to amend the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act na siyang magpapaluwag pa ng pagpasok ng mga imported na mga electric vehicles dito sa ating bansa?
In terms of this House bill, there are two amendments that is being placed within the EVIDA. Una po, to clarify the meaning of an electric vehicle. The one in the current EVIDA po, ang definition lang din ng electric vehicle is only one electric drive for vehicle propulsion. So hindi po siya clear. So we placed two-wheeled, three-wheeled, or four-wheeled vehicle or such other vehicles para lang mas klaro. Yung isa po, yung sa 0% tariff rate for the importation of completely built units within a period of 5 years. So we cannot, like for the electric cars, no? Meron tayo ngayon 100% importation, Madam Speaker. And we cannot really stop that there will be vehicles that will be imported from foreign brands and foreign entities. Hindi lang naman electric vehicles, all other things are being imported in the Philippines. And this reality, we are addressing para hindi mahal din at least in the next 5 years, 0% yung magiging tariff rate ng pagpasok ng fully built, completely built units of electric vehicles. So if it's a 2-wheeled, 3-wheeled, 4-wheeled, pasok po yan dyan. So as small as mga scooters na pumapasok po dito, hindi lang po mga jeepneys or tricycle po, Madam Speaker.
Kung ganun, Madam Speaker, na nag-envision din tayo na makapag-produce ng ating sariling mga electric cars, no, as one of the examples ng mga electric vehicles. Madam Speaker, in concrete, so ano po ba yung plano natin before I proceed dun sa details pa nung tariffs for electric vehicles? Kasi nga, kung meron tayong EVIDA, Madam Speaker, dapat ang maging vision talaga niya ay significant na supply ng mga mabebentang electric cars dito sa ating bansa ay gawang Pinoy din talaga. Kasi yun, if we want industry development, then hindi talaga pwede, Madam Speaker, na marami ay imported. Kaya with that, ano po ba yung concrete talaga nating plano liban dun sa itong nasa proposal natin, Madam Speaker, para maabot yung ganong goal na yun, hindi tayo mag-rely dun sa imported na mga electric cars?
So, Madam Speaker, the existing EVIDA, which we passed in 2020, has there the comprehensive roadmap on electric vehicle industry plan. Meron din silang strategic investment priority plan. So, this entails the joint collaboration with DTI, DOE, BOI, and they have they always put in their data online under DOE kung ano yung mga developments of the electric vehicle industry. And so yun, because of their roadmap, yun yung under DOE ang nagre-release po nun, sila po yung magbibigay po ng kung lahat ng detalye po ng development ng electric vehicles in the Philippines.
So, Madam Speaker, assuming that such a roadmap will work, dahil nga sa ngayon meron pa naman tayong EVIDA, bago natin aprobahan, kung sakali, ng kapulungan na ito, itong House Bill 10960, Madam Speaker, meron na po bang assessment ng effectiveness ng ganong roadmap? Kasi nga, yun, kung nilatag siya before we adjust things, Madam Speaker, edi mainam na siya sa atin talaga muna natin. Paano ba talaga pinatupad yung nakalatag na plano? Kasi baka kung doon pa lang pala ay meron ng halimbawa questionable kung yung nilatag ba talagang framework ng EVIDA ay para doon sa pagtitindig natin ng sariling local na vehicle manufacturing or car manufacturing. Tingin natin, Madam Speaker, dapat matalakay din natin yun.
Madam Speaker, if you go into the DOE website, they give their accomplishment report and yearly they submit the numbers. Like currently, we already have 32 electric vehicle routes. Meron tayong 364 electric PUVs. There are already 705 available charging points nationwide. So, marami pong mga data and mga accomplishments dun based on the earlier sa roadmap po ng joint departments, other departments na nilalagay po naman online.
So, kung ganun, Madam Speaker, at yung sinasite ay gumagana yung current na roadmap as laid out by EVIDA, then babalik ako dun, Madam Speaker. Why is it that we have to further open our doors dun sa mga imported na mga electric vehicles, lalo yung electric cars, kung meron naman pala tayong vision na sa darating na mga taon, hopefully not in the far future, ay kakayanin din naman natin. Lalo na, Madam Speaker, sa totoo lang, kung sa mga raw materials na kailangan to produce itong mga electric cars na kinoconsider natin na mas environment friendly, actually, tayong tayo sa Pilipinas, isa tayo sa mga source noon, Madam Speaker. Kaso the problem is, dahil wala talaga tayong sariling matatag na industriya, yung mga minerals natin, halimbawa, kinukuha mula sa atin, tapos ipoprocess sa ibang mga bansa. Pag natapos na nila, Madam Speaker, kahit pa buong vehicle or kahit pa nga parts na tayo mag-assemble, mas mataas na yung value, Madam Speaker. So, tingin natin, bago tayo mag-proceed sa pagtalakay nung, yun, lalong pagpapadulas ng pagpasok ng imported vehicles, yun muna yung unahin natin, Madam Speaker. So, meron ba tayong, so ganito ko na siya itatanong, Madam Speaker, meron bang target sa ngayon kung kailan natin masasabi na meron tayong sariling electric car manufacturing industry?
According to BO,
Tapos kailan
3 years kaya.
natin matatanaw yan, Madam Speaker?
So in terms of daming sakop ng electric vehicles. So in general, electric vehicles, in 3 years under BOI, kaya nang mag-manufacture ng Pilipinas. Right now, no, we still have to encourage to build the industry, build the demand, ang medyo pagpasok ng foreign electric vehicles kasi kaya nila yon. Tayo hindi pa masyado and we need to encourage that, no, for healthy competition as well. According to EVAP naman, in terms of yung specifically electric cars, hindi talaga, sadly, hindi talaga kaya ng Pilipinas for the next 5 years. For other kinds, we are hopeful na in 3 years, kaya na ma-fully manufacture here in the Philippines. That's why this amendment is only limited dun sa 5 years from the passage of this bill, hopefully, for the zero tariff rate. Kasi dun po pumapasok ang studies na within 3 years, kakayanin na natin at bibigyan na natin sila ng taripa, no, tariff rates for the foreign brands.
Okay.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Kasunod po na mga tanong ay tungkol doon sa pinopropose na, Madam Speaker, ang zero tariff rate para sa mga completely built units of electric vehicles na imported. Madam Speaker, sa ngayon po ba, ano ang current na rate ng tariff na pinapataw natin sa mga imported na electric vehicles?
%30 for passenger cars, 20% for commercial vehicles.
Madam Speaker, how about yung mga imported, halimbawa na electric, yung mga e-jeep, qualified po ba yun sa passenger vehicles?
Commercial passenger vehicles. Yes, Madam Speaker.
Yung mga e-trike po, Madam Speaker.
%30, Madam Speaker.
Okay, so kung ganun, Madam Speaker, paano po na-come up yung ganitong figure na mula dun sa mataas? Although, well, kung tayo, Madam Speaker, bilang kinatawan ng kabataan, yung gusto talaga natin ay as much as possible nga ay huwag i-touch yung current na mga rates. Just for the record sa posisyon natin, Madam Speaker. Pero ngayon pinopropose na babaan yung tariff, bakit, Madam Speaker, zero yung pinapanukala under House Bill 10960? Bakit, halimbawa, hindi, say, well, other figures between 0 and the current 20 or 30%?
Clarify, Madam Speaker, what is the difference? Why biglang zero from
Bakit
30?
zero?
From 30% and 20%. So, earlier on, before the wide definition kasi din yung electric vehicles po, no? Yung one vehicle, one electric motor. So, all-encompassing siya kung kahit anong may electric motor dyan, no? And it was part of the numbers sa cars, sa mga commercial cars, commercial vehicles, and others yung sa difference ng 30-20. So now that we are redefining electric vehicles to really make it either the two-wheeled, yung may wheels na, yung para klaro, para clear po tayo dun sa kung ano talaga ang definition ng electric vehicles. And we saw that there is this influx of electric vehicles now. We placed zero tariff nga sa mga pumapasok for the next 5 years, Madam Speaker.
Okay, Madam Speaker, since yung isa sa mga often na or mas accessible sa ating mga kababayan halimbawa na gusto magkaroon ng electric vehicle pa yung mga e-trike. Madam Speaker, magkano ngayon yung average na price ng mga e-trike na nasa supply na nasa Philippine market?
For personal use, around 30,000 pesos. For public transportation, yung mas malalaki, minimum 300,000 pesos.
Okay. Madam Speaker, let's say yung for personal use na 30,000. Para mas maunawaan po ng ating mga kababayan, meron bang immediate na impact yung tariff dun sa presyo ng bawat individual na unit na binebenta or binibili?
So right now, because of the 30% na tariff, 20? 30% tariff, syempre, papasok yun sa presyo, like the end price that the consumer will be paying for. Papass off yung tax, diba? So making it zero will now make it considerably cheaper.
So ibig sabihin, Madam Speaker, sa bahagi ng mga nagbebenta, yung pinapataw sa kanilang tariff for them to be allowed to sell their imported electric vehicle dito sa Pilipinas, pinapatong nila yon dun sa presyo na kanilang binebenta?
If it's taxed, of course, hindi lang naman yung sa vehicles. Any business would usually pass on the tax rate to the consumer sa bill, sa final price.
So kung ganun, Madam Speaker, na ibig sabihin na merong mafo-forgo na revenue yung ating pamahalaan kasi yun, yung tariff naman yun ay well, yung starting point nun ay yung kung sino man yung nagbebenta, tapos yung endpoint nung taripa ay mapupunta yun supposedly sa pamahalaan, magiging part ng pera ng bayan. So with this bill, Madam Speaker, ano po ang computed or estimated na magiging foregone revenues natin dahil mula dun sa 30% or 20% na tariff rate para sa imported electric vehicles ay idadrop natin siya to zero, Madam Speaker?
DOE, BOI, they would have to compute based on what would be the losses. Conversely, if I may add, although it will be a loss in the next 5 years, because of that, mawawalan nga ng tariff ang pagpasok. As stated earlier, this will create healthy competition in the market. It will also generate new jobs, especially that we're gearing towards the increase of the manufacturing. And pag marami din tumaas ang demand, marami ang bibili, mas iikot din yung pera within the economy. So there will be that loss, but there will also be gains in terms of the industry, in terms of the demands, in terms of the economy also. Pagdating sa expenditure natin, naiikot yung pera dito sa Pilipinas.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Nonetheless, while may ganun tinatanaw na mga posibleng idudulot, kailangan pa rin nating malaman, Madam Speaker, ano din yung mga short-term or medium-term na mga impacts ito, Madam Speaker. Kasi, for example, kaya tayo sensitive din sa usaping taripa kasi we have witnessed several times, Madam Speaker, na yung pangako din nung pag-drop ng tariffs para pumasok yung mga imported na goods or services, hindi din siya agad nagtatranslate dun sa mas mabuting kalagayan ng mga kababayan natin. Like, for example, Madam Speaker, yung pagbaba ng taripa sa bigas, na hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin makita ng taong bayan yung 20 pesos per kilo na bigas. Of course, attributable yan sa maraming factors, pero isa yan sa pinangako, Madam Speaker, ng pagbaba ng taripa sa presyo ng bigas na magiging mas affordable talaga siya. So kaya ito, Madam Speaker, yung pinag-uusapan natin ay taripa na naman. Tapos, syempre, ang immediate na gaganan siya dito, Madam Speaker, ay yung mga foreign manufacturers. Kaya gusto din natin talagang ma-quantify ano din yung konkretong epekto nito sa bansa natin. Kasi foregone revenues will also be foregone sources for public services na pwede nating i-allot sa ating mga ahensya, Madam Speaker. So, yun. Mainam sana, Madam Speaker, ay lalo na meron tayong hindi sisingilin. So, gusto natin talagang malaman magkano yun in the 5-year period after maging batas itong House Bill 10960.
Madam Speaker, we will have it computed. I just want to note that this is not the only zero tariff. This is not the only things that we import in electric vehicles. And in terms of the number of the electric vehicles na naman imported, considerably low naman siya with all others. Again, I would like to also reiterate, there are also benefits to doing this, especially when it comes to the benefits of the environment, which we cannot quantify. And tayong lahat ang magbe-benefit doon if we will try to use nga and encourage this usage of the electric vehicles also for us to increase the demand, to make the industry bigger and healthier for competition here. Again, I'm asking for DOE and DOI to compute at least a little an amount, a figure, a ballpark figure for that.
Madam Speaker, during this interpellation, masusupply po ba yung hinihingi nating figure? Para sa kaalaman din na ating mga kapwa mambabatas, Madam Speaker, kung magkano talaga yung ating pinag-uusapan.
So I'm reading an article now from the Bureau of Customs, dated October 14, 2024. It will result in 9 billion in foregone revenues.
9 billion.
9 billion po.
Okay, that's duly noted, Madam Speaker. So, huling tanong na lang, Madam Speaker. For the record lang din, Madam Speaker, sa lines 20 and 21 ng panukalang batas, for clarity lang, Madam Speaker, since there's a part mentioning strategic investment priority plan, the bill, Madam Speaker, wants to delete, and I quote, strategic investment priority plan, pero yung ipapalit din, Madam Speaker, ay it's the same phrase, Madam Speaker. So we would like to be clarified about the proposed amendment to Section 24B.
Just for emphasis and clarification, discussed in the committee, just for emphasis and clarification, Madam Speaker.
But Madam Speaker, it's actually just the same phrase. So parang de-delete siya, tapos ibabalik lang din siya, Madam Speaker. Unlike other amendments na meron talagang pinapasok na bago or merong rephrasing na gustong isuggest. Just for the record, Madam Speaker.
For clarification, because this is a defined term in the Omnibus Investments Code, para lang because it's consistent with also other codes. It being a defined term, linagay po natin just to make it one with others.
But in terms of the essence, Madam Speaker, meron ba itong gustong baguhin doon sa current na gustong ipahiwatig ng Evida, Madam Speaker?
It's just an amendment subject to style, so style lang din po siya. It won't materially alter anything in the Evida, current Evida law, Madam Speaker.
Okay, Madam Speaker, so to end this interpellation, we thank our good sponsors sa pagsagot sa mga tanong. Nonetheless, Madam Speaker, we still have concerns dun sa approach wherein sa mga panahon na hindi pa natin kinakaya na mag-produce ng sarili nating mga goods or services, while okay tayo dun sa intensyon ng pagkakaroon natin ng mga electric vehicles, pero kung ang magiging paraan para gawin yon ay yung same old strategy ng pag-rely sa paglo-lower ng tariffs, this time to zero po talaga, Madam Speaker, then meron po talagang mga agam-agam dyan ang mga kabataan. So yun lang muna, Madam Speaker, and thank you sa ating buting sponsor.
Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no other member who wishes to interpellate the sponsor, I move that we terminate the period of sponsorship and debate.
There's a motion to terminate the period of sponsorship and debate. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments.
There's a motion to open the period of amendment. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority
Madam-
Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Brian Revilla to introduce the committee amendments.
The Honorable Brian Revilla is recognized for the committee amendments.
Madam Speaker, I move to amend House Bill number 10960. On Section 1, Page 1, lines 9 to 10, delete the phrase hybrid electric vehicle, light electric vehicle.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Madam Speaker.
What does the House say?
We accept, Madam Speaker, but I just would like to make a clarification. The amendment is individual amendment.
Yes.
We
Majority
accept.
Leader.
We accept on the part of the majority, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
I move that we approve the said individual amendment.
The said amendment is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no...
One more.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Brian Revilla to introduce another individual amendment.
The Honorable Revilla is recognized for his amendment.
Madam Speaker, on Section 2, Page 2, lines 12 to 13, replace for a period of 5 years from the date of effectivity on this Act with from 2025 to 2030. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
What does the sponsor say?
We accept, Madam Speaker.
The House say?
We accept, Madam Speaker.
There
And
is a
I'm-
motion to accept the amendment. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, there being no other individual amendments nor committee amendments, I move that we close the period of amendments.
There's a motion to close the period of amendment. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading House Bill number 10960
There's a
as
motion.
amended.
There's a motion to approve House Bill 10960, including its amendments. Those who are in favor say aye. Those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 10960 is approved on second reading.